Hi everybody. It's fall here in New England, and I've gotten back to cutting some firewood, and my saw, one of my saws, this Stihl MS170 that I picked up used off of eBay a few years ago, is giving me some trouble. Now I love this saw. I have a Husqvarna, a larger saw. That Husky's a good saw, and I use that for felling larger trees. But when I'm dealing with small trees or just limbing a tree, I really like this saw because it's a lot lighter, and it's nicer to work with for longer periods of time. But I noticed the last couple times I used it in the spring that it didn't seem to be running exactly right, and I didn't pay it much mind. And then just recently, this past weekend, I was cutting some trees, and it really was acting up a lot more, and it's getting to the point where it's more than just an annoyance. So I'm going to have to service it, and I'm sure it's probably carburetor. It's fuel related, I'm pretty sure, but let me show you the symptoms first. All right, it's a combination of symptoms. The first symptom is it's harder to start than it should be. The second symptom is it tends to, the idle speed tends to rise, almost like it's leaning out, stalling. And then, of course, the biggest problem is a real loss of power. It bogs down during a cut. All right, so let me just set this camera up and we'll start it up. So it's gotten so bad now that it's not even going to let me try to start a cut. What it started out doing was it would let me start a cut, and then as soon as you got into the cut, it would bog down. Now I can't even open it up full throttle without it dying. So we've got what certainly seems to be a fuel delivery issue, and I'm going to work on that probably this evening. But I wanted to get this video shot during the daylight to show you the symptoms, so we can do a little before and after, hopefully a successful after video. Time to figure out what's going on with my Stihl chainsaw. So I've got a little time this evening. Kids are asleep. The wife's out visiting friends. So I figured I'd come down here to the basement, putter around. It was either that or sit on my big butt on the couch, and I don't need that. So, but I still will partake in some calories. Let's see, tonight we got the Opa Opa Light Lager, which when I first tried it, I didn't particularly care for it, but it grows on you, so what could I say? So anyways, somewhat cleaned the bench. Not really, but somewhat. Still got some remnants of some stuff here. Let's see what we got here. Garbage. Look at that. The XR100 piston rings that I bought that were the wrong ones. Still got those. And this stuff you see here, this is from the Ugly Boat project, which if you haven't seen the Ugly Boat videos, it means I don't have them online yet, for good reason, because I got a ton of editing that needs to be done. That truly was a whopper of a project, and it's not done yet. But I digress. Oh, and I just found this tonight when I was putting some stuff away. The reason why I'm excited about that is because this is going to be featured in the Oliver 770 tractor project real soon. Quick look around at this mess. Let's see. What do you got here? There's the International steering gearbox parts. Waiting for those parts to come in to finish that. Anybody know what those are? Connecting rods from that 353 diesel out of that backhoe that I'm parting out. One of these days I got to get around to taking some photographs and putting those on eBay. Ugly boat. Let's see what else we got up there on top of the boiler. There's a dual ignition coil from a Sportster. That's a long story. Anyways, there's the rack up there for the injectors on that 353. Camshaft. That camshaft is actually for the Earthmaster tractor that I intend to eventually restore that belonged to my father. And the block for that is sitting over there in the dark. Give you a quick look at that. There's the block. There's the 353's oil pan. Rear rim from the Earthmaster. Front rims from the Earthmaster. This isn't the Yelm Earthmaster project that I have online now. That's actually the parts tractor I bought to help me complete this one. There's the oil pan for the from my dad's Earthmasters right there. We got here a spare air filter from the Makita generator project. Hydraulic pump. The guy I bought the International from threw in that hydraulic pump. It actually doesn't even belong to the tractor, but he threw it in. So I was like, yeah, I'll take it. He also threw in a dual spool hydraulic control valve. And between that pump and the valve and some creative thinking, I might be able to make a log splitter out of it. I don't know. Skid plate that I never got around to putting back on the bottom of that XR. What else we got over here? There's a washing machine somebody threw out on the side of the road. It looked so new that I had to take it home and see if I could fix it. And I actually got it to run a little bit, but then it had a couple other problems, and then I ended up deciding that it wasn't worth pursuing. The circuit board was bad. It had been placed out on the side of the road right after a big lightning storm, so I got a feeling it was hit by a power surge. But I saved the expensive motor and some other parts thinking that, you know what, maybe I'll throw them on eBay when I get a chance. There's a lot of that going around. A lot of this, when I get a chance, when I get around to it. It's the hole down for the radiator on that Dad's Earthmaster. Kawasaki Prairie, remember that? Ended up junking that. That's the racks. And that. There's a nice little torch set I picked up from my local pawn shop of all places. He had that for a while and he finally came down on the price. Got a good deal on that because I didn't have any oxyacetylene set up, so I bought that. A week after I bought this, which is almost brand new, I ran into an old timer who ended up selling me a full-size oxyacetylene with 2 extra tanks, cut and torch, the whole works. So now I've got both. My welding gloves I bought. What do we got? Oh, look, there's the primary cover for the Kawasaki. The whole bottom end of the Kawasaki KVF 400. Sitting there. Some more ugly boat parts. The ugly boat, by the way, is a Johnson motor. Yeah, there's a front steering knuckle from the Arctic Cat project. That was when they sent me the wrong one. They didn't request the old one. The wrong one they sent me, they didn't request it back. So I've got that. That should be on eBay. But again, when I get around to it. What else do we get over here? Crankshaft from my father's Earthmaster. Back from the machine shop. Ground and polished. And all wrapped up nice and coated with oil to keep it from getting flash rust down here. That's what happened to those rims over there. They flash rusted like immediately. I paid to have them sandblasted, which was a waste of money. I'll probably end up just replacing them because they got some pretty thin areas in them. I don't know if I want to weld a patch or not. Hey, there's the International's fuel tank. There's the 353's cylinder head. That diesel 353. Over there, we've got carburetor off the KVF and some plastics off that KVF. The Kawasaki. I don't know what else I could show you in here. Oh, this is sitting right here in the way, but I just brought it down because we getting some rain and I had it in the back of the pickup truck. Driving home the other day, guy had this out in the front and he was washing his car and it was sitting out by the road, and I said, you throwing that out? He says, yeah. So I took it, weight bench. So eventually I'd like to carve out a little corner down here, and I think I could find my old barbell somewhere and throw some weights on it and show my 10-year-old how to bench press. See if we can't put some muscles in that boy. He loves baseball, but I think he'd love it a lot more if he could hit the ball out into the outfield. Right now he's a good hitter, but he just doesn't have the power. Good eyes, though. Carl Yastrzemski once said the key to being a good hitter in baseball is all in the eyes. They also say that Jim Rice would have had a longer career if they had LASIK surgery back then. And Yastrzemski was a great hitter, and he smoked cigarettes, for crying out loud, so maybe he knew something. The hydraulic pump from my dad's Earthmaster, which originally was thought to have been stolen, and then was found half buried in the field out in back of the barn. The thieves dropped it on their way out, and I never noticed it there till I was brush cutting. Luckily I didn't hit it with the cutter and damage it. I really gotta clean this place up. Don't tell my wife I said that.